So today is blog 2. Following some of the conversations on Facebook, I decided that today's one was going to be about symptoms, and especially like my story and how I got here. So over the rest of the week, I'm going to cover other things such as the surgery, why I picked to go private, fertility, other women's health, the pre-surgery assessment, the surgery itself, and the recovery. So I don't really know where endometriosis began. I imagine that it's hereditary, so it can be hereditary. So my mum suffered from endometriosis. She also had hormone replacement therapy, and she had a hysterectomy quite young. But my journey kind of started, I guess, when I first had my periods. I always found them painful. I always found them really heavy. They were never regular. But they could really vary. So I could not have them, then I could have 5, then I could have them every other day, every other week. And I kind of found that really difficult when I was younger. I decided to go on the pill to try and make it regular, as all my other friends had. And I didn't find that. I didn't find that they helped. I found that they were probably a bit more painful. They didn't make them regular. They just didn't really help me. Some of them gave me like quite bad migraines, and I was just being passed around from period to period. From the pill to the one that goes in your arm to the injection. And I found that when I was younger, I did go into hospital quite a few times. So I would go in and I would be told, you've got IBS, or, it's just growing pains, or, it's your appendix, don't worry about it. And that was kind of everything. I just kept going in and out. I just kept trying new pills, just kept seeing what would happen. But then probably about 2 or 3 years ago, I found that probably the pain, I think, changed. It wasn't really a numbing pain. Like, I find period pains, because this is me, I find them quite numbing. So it's quite a really numb, achy pain. The pain kind of felt a bit more like stabbing. It was a bit more like somebody stabbing. And I was starting to get really bad back pains. Like, I get like pains in my leg, which I now know what it is. It's the endometriosis, but it didn't really make sense. I began to get like quite bad exhaustion, and last September, October, I began to get blood in my stools. So I did keep going to the doctor. I did keep pushing it. I did keep pushing like the fact like my mum's passed, because I didn't think that was the answer, but I thought there might be something there. I got referred quite a few times to the gynecologist, and continually got told, it's IBS, or I was told once that if I wanted it to stop, they would give me a hysterectomy at 23. And I kind of thought, actually, that wasn't the route they wanted to go, and I probably wasn't very comfortable with that one anymore. So I just kind of put up and shut up, really, and just went back to the doctors every time I could, because they'd always say, try it for 6 months and then go and say it hasn't worked. I did tell them endometriosis ran in the family, and I was told that that they didn't think the symptoms related to that, and that they didn't think it would be that. It also, as somebody's raised, it's quite an intrusive surgery to be diagnosed, but it was we were just going around in circles. At the beginning of 2015, I had my first smear test, which came back irregular. So I had to go and have, is it colonoscopy, something like that, which then became infected. And I was in hospital, and that was quite a shock to the system. But I kind of then after that thought, well, maybe that's what the pain is. Maybe that's what my stomach aches are. Maybe that's my abdominal pains is. Maybe that's why I'm tired. I kind of just put it down to that. And I just kind of got on with everything, got on as I did. It was when last September, October, that the blood in my stools began, that I kind of really began to panic. I rang my mum, and I was really upset. And we went to the doctors, and I was told I'd get a referral, which never came through. So over probably the last year and a half, 2 years, my symptoms have got a lot worse. So I've got my back pain, I've got my abdominal pain, which we've discussed. I've also got my chronic fatigue, which is horrific. It isn't being tired. Like, exhaustion and tired, I think, are two different things. It's your body just kind of just stops. So I will have days where I can't move. Like, I call them flare-ups, where I'll just lay in bed and I can't move. I haven't got the energy. My body is aching. I kind of daze over. I kind of go into my own little world. I get really bad headaches. And it's just as if everything's just stopped. I can't prepare for it because you don't know when it's going to come. It can come at any time. It lasts for days, it can last for weeks, it can last for a week, it can last like hours. It like just wipes me out, and I can't really prepare for it. So if I'm feeling like a bit bad and I think, oh, I'm going out tonight, I'll go and have a nap. That doesn't work for me. In the same way as you can try and overcome it, but it will get you. My husband's family and friends live in Bristol. My mum and dad live in Bath. Like, I went down to see them for Christmas, and I can do the drive, but it will get me. It can take a couple of hours, it can take a day, but I will become exhausted, and I will start to ache, and I will start to feel really bad. Like, the pains get so much worse, and I guess it's where your whole body just flares up. I imagine your body's just gone, enough is enough. That back pain is where, obviously, we discussed that the lining grows outside. If you think every month you bleed, that is where you're bleeding from. So if you've got the line like on your ovaries, that is where you're bleeding from. So every month you've got the tearing, the bleeding, the recovery. The blood doesn't have anywhere to go. So it sits and kind of like clumps together, and it will just sit and be hitting a nerve. And that's what the back pain is. But for me, my symptoms were irregular periods, extremely painful, like abdominal pains. I wouldn't say they're period pains because they kind of feel different. The chronic fatigue, and the blood in my stools. But I do think that the process was drawn out by the fact that I just continually got put on different pills. If you're feeling like this is something that you may be suffering with, may think, actually, no, that's how I feel, it is an intrusive surgery to be diagnosed. I'm not going to lie, it's keyhole surgery to have a full diagnostic, but it's worth it. And actually, you can then kind of begin to piece things together, and you begin to understand it. So what I would say is, if you're feeling this, don't keep going to the doctor and ask them to change your pill, because that's not going to work. Get a diagnostic, and kind of have that discussion maybe with your mum, see if it is hereditary, maybe see if it does run in the family. And definitely take this up with your doctor. That is the one thing I would say. You need their support, and you need a really good doctor on your side. So maybe if one doctor isn't listening to you, go speak to somebody else, go get a second opinion. So that's today's. I'm going to say over and out now, and tomorrow, obviously, I've written it down. We'll look at what the surgery is going to consist of and why I chose to go private over NHS. So have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.